Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, and my name is the Summer Sambit. Today, we're going to talk about South Africa's biggest problem, which is perhaps its racial laws. I'm sure many of you have noticed South Africa, for a country that prides itself in democracy and so-called equality, has an awful lot of race-based laws. You want to know how many we have? Approximately 154. If I'm not mistaken, that's more race-based laws than we've had in peak apartheid. Yet when individuals like myself call this very evident fact out, when individuals like myself call this very evident fact nothing but racially motivated discrimination, we are labeled as nothing but extremists or even coconuts for those who look like me that may say it. In South Africa, there was actually a point in time where we were heading the right direction, and that was a few years after the apartheid regime. Unfortunately, from the mid-2000s, South Africa decided to take a turn that many would remember until this very day. Why? Because till this day, we still suffer the effects of the many deliberate mistakes the ANC had committed and the many mistakes they had in fact planned, such as the Zuma regime. South Africa's race-based laws include a lot of things. It's not only your regular discrimination against the white person in the neighborhood. It has to do with education. It has to do with employment. It also has to do with entrepreneurship. I'll give you an example. Meet BEE. If you don't know what BEE is what we call Black Economic Empowerment. Its full name is Broad-Based Black Economic Empowerment. Basically, BBBEE. I don't know why saying that sounded so weird, but nonetheless, BBBEE is the main factor when it comes to race-based laws. Black economic empowerment tells us that if you're black and you're starting a business, they won't hesitate to fund you, give you your BEE certificate, and your business will be seen as eligible. If you happen to have a business that has no black employees in South Africa, or barely has any, you won't fit the racial quota. Therefore, you'll scare away many investors, and you'll have to fit the racial quota so that you can get your BEE certificate and so that you can be seen as a legit business. You heard me. To be seen as a legit business, it is an obligation to have employees that are not white. What I'm trying to say here is we are not a nation that judges people based on value anymore. We don't judge who you are based on what you can bring to the table anymore. We don't appreciate the effort someone puts. Now, it's about the color of their skin. Now, it's about their circumstances. And now, it's about how the ANC government will feel.
Ladies and gentlemen, this video is sponsored by Aquel in the fight against diabetes. World Diabetes Day might have passed on November 15th, but the mission does not stop. We are still fighting. So wear your blue, drink your water, and stay accountable. Aquel is reminding all of us, hydration is your first defense. Drink your water, eat your vitamins, watch your sugar, say your prayers, and say no to diabetes. Aquel, pure refreshment, pure fight. Let's keep on going.
If we don't hire those who are not as qualified as those we have already hired. I'll give you an example. If I had 10 employees in a business right now, 5 are black. No, wait, 5 are white. Sorry. Oh man, why am I mixing this? Okay, let's start all over again. If I had a business, right, small one, 10 employees, let's say 2 are white, 3 are colored, and 1 is black, 4 are Asian. It's a good diversity within a business. But here's what BEE says. If you have just 1 black person in there, we need to make sure it's the same amount of black people as everyone else.
The skills are there, but they're hard to find. I mean, I gave an example earlier of trying to find an MD for our connectivity business.
Yeah, and you said it took a while.
And it took a while. It took about 7-8 months. And it was because we were struggling to find black qualified people in that area. And we find that challenge quite a lot. I think there's a difference between trying to fulfill quotas and trying to do the right thing and building diversity into our teams, because we think teams grow better when they're diversified.
So here's what we're going to do. You're going to have to fire one of those Asians. You'll have to fire one of those white people. And you'll have to fire one of the colored people as well. That way, we'll have 4 black employees. We'll have 3 Asian employees. And we'll have 3 white employees. Only then will you have qualified as a legit business under the rule of BEE. I'm literally giving you business advice. That's how it works. You can literally look this up. If you had a shop somewhere with 20 employees, 19 of them are a mixture of Asian South Africans and white South Africans, and just 1 was black, you'd have to fire a whole lot of the Asian South Africans and white South Africans so that there's enough black people for your business to be seen as legit, right? Bear in mind, not once in that example or the previous example I gave you did I talk about merit or what you can bring to the table. No, it's about color. So nobody cares about what qualifications you have. If the white employee has more qualifications than the black employee he's going to be retrenched for, well, boo-hoo, nobody cares. We'll bring in the black guy. Because if we don't want our business to close, that black guy's got to get in. That's why MTN recently did a lot of the retrenchments. That's why in this year alone, 220,000 white males lost their jobs. I made a video on that earlier this year. If you have a good memory and you have your thinking cap on, you will remember that. So what am I saying? I'm saying we live in a country that has fought way too hard to be put in a position where we still need to judge our people, our workers, and our civil servants based on the color of their skin. It's time we started judging by merit and what you can bring to the table. Because if I'm not mistaken, that's why we fought against apartheid, to stop that. To stop the thing of, oh, he's black, sorry man, you're gonna have a very hard time trying to get this job. You see, there was no point in twisting it around, because now if you're applying for varsity, if you're a white student watching this and you're applying for varsity next year, look, pal, go apply, but hey, I'm not guaranteeing you anything.
And what we've recently noticed as well is that most of our engineers, because a lot of this type of work is done by engineers, are immigrating. So it's no longer just a matter of that their skills are not around, it's that their skills are needed worldwide, because digital technology is become a global phenomenon.
All right, I'm not saying immediately blame the system when you rejected either. Maybe someone had higher marks than you, right? And maybe you applied late. But let's say you had 88%, the black person next to you had 87%. They'll take the black student because the university has to fit the racial quotas. They won't do that all the time. They'll do that if they absolutely have to, if the government is like pressing them, right? And don't blame the black South Africans for that. You should blame your government for that, because it is your government that is making an unfair working and scholar environment for you.
So it's
And
trying
let me
to
just
find
interject.
skills and keep them.
We heard the other day from a top management company that it's not only white people immigrating as sometimes suspected.
It's white and black people.
Top, black professionals are also looking abroad.
Tell me what you think about this whole BEE thing, and I hope I explained it well. So, for those of you who didn't understand why South Africa has so many racial laws, I hope now you get it. You know, I mean, there's 154 laws based on race as well. I hope you get it now. If you don't, ask me any question in the comment section. I'll see you next time.